Through analysis of thousands of recorded gunfights, the cleric has determined that the geometric distribution of the antagonist in any gun battle is a statistically predictable element. The gun kata treats the gun as a total weapon, each fluid position representing a maximum kill zone, inflicting maximum damage on the maximum number of opponents, while keeping the defender clear of the statistically traditional trajectories of return fire. By the rote mastery of this art, your firing efficiency will rise by no less than 120%. Translation: guns plus karate equals kick ass. I cannot wait to see this movie. This movie has actually been on my list to watch for many years, and simply watching the trailers of all the gunfights, I think that this is going to be an insane movie. I mean, let's face it, we've got Christian Bale, we've got that guy from Lord of the Rings who plays, the one who dies and doesn't come back. And the storyline seems to be set in a completely dystopian future, and it looks like it's going to be kick ass. I mean, just the idea of pairing guns and martial arts together is an insane idea for an action movie. And when you consider that this is the one that started that trend in all action movies since, where you have gunplay, but then you do have some kind of martial arts with the guns, I expected this is going to be just completely awesome. How unfortunate for him. I forgot this movie is from 2008, which means it's pre-Matrix. I don't know whether it's because there have been so many copies of this movie made that the original doesn't seem so great, but when there's so many bad action movies out there that are basically trying to be this movie, I guess after a while seeing the original, it just doesn't do it for me. Now that's not to say this movie is completely irredeemable. It's just that after a movie like The Matrix comes out, it seems, well, very simplistic. That I think what's happened is that people have expected smarter action movies where there's a much larger plot being driven than the one that's it's simply a dystopian future that's run by Nazis, and the people have come to accept it. This movie is a cross between Fahrenheit 451 and Invasion of the Body Snatchers, in the fact that the actors have absolutely no emotion, and that they're basically that the entire purpose of the government is basically go around and destroy culture in order to suppress people's violent natures. How this works, I have no idea, but I guess it has something to do with those vials full of a mixture of Ambien and Ritalin, which causes everybody to feel absolutely nothing and go completely brain dead. I mean, we already have a society based on that, and we seem to be working out pretty good with art. I mean, I don't see any reason why you have to burn it. The motivation for this entire movie is that for some reason, people feeling emotion causes other people to have wars. And I guess that works if you smoke a lot of, and I guess that works as a theory if you smoke a lot of weed and make that weird connection where the idea is, okay, people feel emotion, people feel national pride. National pride causes people to band together and form all kinds of weird groups like Nazis, KKK, all that other sort of other stuff, which then in turns make them easy to manipulate, which I guess is what causes wars. Does that make sense to you? It doesn't make that much sense to me. And the symbolism in this movie, I mean, let's face it, we start off with the burning of the Mona Lisa. Symbolism. To quote the film brain, symbolism! Then you have the talking about Nazis by father, or the talking about dictatorship by father, with a picture of Adolf Hitler and a picture of Stalin, which is basically set up to establish that yes, this world is run by it's run by Nazis, it's run by Stalinists. I mean, really, we have every action movie film cliche that you can possibly think of put in here. And look, I know that Christian Bale, between American Psycho and Batman Begins, those are two very good movies. But even Christian Bale cannot save this. I mean, the director of this film made Ultraviolet, so take that and do with it what you will. I mean, I think the thing that really kills it for me with this movie is just the idea that people are completely emotionless in this society. I just can't see it. Apathy is an emotion, or at the very least, it's a state that causes feeling of some sort. I mean, even even not feeling is a feeling. I mean, do people not get lonely in this society? Do people not taste food, and that causes some kind of emotional trigger in their brain for happiness or sad? I mean, even base things. I guess I just expected so much more after reading the Crack.com article on gun kata, and I figured that with such an awesome martial art gun mix-up, it would have a good story to go with it. Unfortunately, it doesn't. And I can't say that I like this movie. It attempts to be philosophical by showing us how somebody goes from not having emotion to having emotion. And it's a nice supposition, but I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it. It's a mistake to think that if you take the plot drivers from two good movies, you're going to get a good plot driver for another movie. For example, if you take the plot driver from Fahrenheit 451, which is we're destroying all culture in order to control humanity, and the other plot driver from Invasion of the Body Snatchers, where we are emotionless beings taking over the planet, if you try to mesh those two together and knead them into one, it's not red and blue making purple, it's more black and white making gray. I'm not going to continue ranting about this movie. I mean, let's face it, that's what the film brain is for. But personally, I wish we'd seen a different movie. 3 out of 5. It was okay. I'd drink through it. But other than that, I wouldn't recommend this movie to other people simply because there's so much better stuff out there now. This movie is good as an archival piece, maybe for a film study to show where action movies have come from. If you were to look at the 80s, where they developed to in the 90s, and then you have The Matrix, and then everything that came after that. But other than that, I wouldn't watch this movie again. Guess that's my review. See you guys next time.